Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be my top classes for League play for Season 5. Season 5 came with a bunch of weapon adjustments, a couple of new guns, so my classes have changed slightly. Obviously I've got the old reliable, but let's get straight into that. Apologies for the lack of uploads recently. I think I uploaded one a couple of days ago. It's been a load of people's I know and friends' birthdays recently, so things have been hectic. I haven't had much spare time, so I do apologise for that, but as you can imagine, it comes once a year, so things are all good. You're going to be having regular scheduled uploads going forward now for the foreseeable, hopefully. So make sure you stick around and sub if you are interested in that. I mostly, if you guys are new to the channel, I mostly play League play. I do some sort of gameplays like tips and tricks, how to get into Master and things like that. So yeah, enough of the small talk. Let's get straight into the video and starting with my class setups. Class setup number 1 is going to be the one that I've had for absolutely ages, and it's the 74U with the flak jacket and tack mask. The attachments on the 74U haven't really changed. I've got the muzzle brake 5.45 as the barrel, as a muzzle, sorry, an extended barrel, foregrip underbarrel, screw elastic wrap, and the KGB skeletal stock. A lot of you guys probably use the compensator instead of the muzzle brake, but I've had a play. I've tried the compensator, and it just doesn't. I just don't feel like it hits as well. So I definitely, if you don't feel like your shots are on necessarily with the 74U with the compensator, maybe just give the muzzle brake a try for a few games. I prefer it myself, and I've actually got the nice new CDL skin on there, which you love to see. So moving on to the secondary, and it's going to be the Pro issue Diamatti. I actually haven't changed any of the attachments on here other than the steady aim laser, but just going with it. And this is going to be my secondary on all my classes, so I'm only going to describe it this once. It's going to be the muzzle brake, the 7.8 extended barrel, steady aim laser, 24 round magazine, and the airborne elastic wrap. As I say, it's just exactly what the Pro issue Diamatti is. So if I think it's 25 wins. If you've had 25 wins, just whack this on the class. This is the one I'm using, and yeah, moving on. I have stun grenades. I know that it's a bit cheesy. When I'm playing 8s or GBs, I usually use flashbang. Stun grenades are I find a bit more effective against the ARs who don't necessarily have tack mask. And then obviously Semtex and trophy system as standard. And then my perks, which are my go-to sub perks. It's going to be flat jacket, tack mask, and ninja. It just allows me to be aggressive and stay off enemies' headsets. Obviously, I get the lawbreaker perk just to ensure that I can have flat jacket and tack mask. Yeah, that's the 74U class. Moving on to the Krig. Again, this one hasn't really changed other than the fact I've got the Pro issue Krig now. And I'm just going to run quickly through the attachments here. So I've got the millstop reflex, the muzzle brake 5.56, the range of barrel, steady aim laser, field agent grip, 40 round magazine, the airborne elastic wrap, and the Raider stock. This thing still beams with these attachments, especially with the field agent grip. The gun doesn't move, so if you're looking for that turret gun with a fairly good fire rate, this is the gun to have. Obviously, you can play around with the optic. If you want something that zooms in a bit more, you can go for a 2x. And some people I see even use the microflex LED. But I prefer that little bit more magnification with the millstop. It's a bit uglier to look at, but it's useful when you're actually in game. Again, I have the Pro issue Diamatti right here, just with the steady aim laser on. Stun grenade, Semtex trophy as normal. But obviously, because I've got 8 perks, I'm not allowed to have 2 perks within the same category. So I have flat jacket over tack mask because I find that I can survive way more with the grenades rather than getting stuns and flashes. I can sort of wean my way out of, but getting hit once with a grenade and dying is not fun. I then have Assassin, which increases your score if they are on a kill streak. This is pretty decent actually at obtaining streaks. If you're slaying a bit and someone's on a 2 kill streak, even if they're on a 2 kill streak, you will get more score for that kill. This also helps boost your score per minute if you guys are wanting to do that. I mean, I don't think that necessarily correlates to getting in Master. I think there's more things than just score per minute, from my experience. But this is just a good way to make sure you can get those streaks a little bit quicker. I never really run out of ammo, and there's always far too many trophies on the map as it is, so it's not. I don't find either of the others too much of a clutch, to be honest. And then obviously I have Ninja just to stay off the enemy's headsets. Moving on, it's going to be the exact same class as this AK-74U. So I've got the Diamatti Flash or Stun, whatever you prefer, really. There, Semtex Trophy, Flakjack, Attack Mask, and Ninja. So I'm not going to talk over those again. Let's just go straight into the attachments on the FFAR. So I've got the Ranger Barrel, the Field Agent Grip, 38 round magazine, because I think the standard mag's 25, which just is nowhere near enough on League play. Airborne Elastic Wrap, and the Raider stock. They buffed this gun at close range when Season 5 dropped, so I'm using it far more. They've boosted the damage to 30 at close range, which means that it's a 5-hit kill at really close ranges. They've narrowed the hip fire spread, so it's an absolute... It contests way more with the SMGs, and with this Field Agent Grip, you're still able to beam fairly, like, medium to long range distance. I wouldn't say long range distance, so you're never going to be able to take a Krig off a heady with this, but yeah, I fully recommend you try this gun since the patch, because obviously it has been buffed tremendously. Moving on to the my second subclass. I don't really use this too often nowadays, but just it's the exact same as my first 74U class, simply with Engineer instead of Tac Mask. So if I notice the team are using a lot of trophies and it's getting us, we're not able to break kills because they've just got too many trophies and we're just not sure where they are. Teammates aren't clearing them if I'm playing solo. I stick on this just because then Engineer highlights them all for me. I know where they are, and we can make sure that I can call out whether we've, they've got trophies, and it stops the teammates from wasting frags that as well. So that's definitely useful for you guys who struggle to find trophies. We'll stick Engineer on a class just for you to be able to quickly switch to. Moving on, probably what some of you guys are here for is the EM2. Now, I don't actually use this gun too much. I mean, it's only been out like a week. It's a new AR from Season 5, and it's an absolute godly weapon. It's a little bit more forgiving than the Krig, in my opinion. It just hits so hard. Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. I mean, let's just have a look at the stats here. You've got a damage of 48 with effective damage rate of 38.1 as standard, so it's a crazy good gun. I don't tend to use this until someone else on the enemy team uses it, because I feel like it's a bit of a cheese. I send it to the Krig. But yeah, I would recommend, if you guys are struggling to find a gun that you're happy with, give this gun a go. You can actually use all the attachments on it as long as you've unlocked it in the Battle Pass. And you don't even have to buy the Battle Pass, you just have to get to it. It's a free aspect of the Battle Pass. So yeah, let's move on with the attachments. This is what you're here for. So I have the Millstop Reflex as the optic, muzzle brake for the muzzle, Ranger Barrel, Steady Aim Laser, Field Agent Grip, 30 round magazine, Airborne Elastic Wrap, and the Raider stock. Obviously, 30 round magazine isn't ideal, but it can be it's a 3-4 shot kill, so you don't really need that many bullets in that. And this is what balances it for me, I think. If you could have 40 rounds in this, it'd be, way more powerful than the Krig. But I do enjoy this. I do enjoy this. It's a good fun gun to use. But again, I do feel it's a bit cheesy, so I only tend to bring it out when the enemy team does, just so I can then stand a chance at least. Class is then going to be exactly the same as the Krig. So we've got the Diamatti, Stun, Semtex Trophy System, Flat Jacket, Assassin, and Ninja. Moving on to the Groza. The Groza actually also had a bit of a buff in Season 5, so I'd recommend giving this a go if you haven't. It's really... the recoil's been reduced quite a lot, and they've really sort of made it more of a movement-focused gun. So they've made walking with this gun a lot more easier as well, and more visually appealing. I've only got 5 attachments on this because I think this is more of a bit of an aggressive assault rifle. So I've got the muzzle brake, Gru composite 16.2 barrel, simply because it boosts your effective damage range and bullet velocity by 25% both, and it has no negatives. So yeah, I think that's the gun to use for that, the barrel to use for that, and then the underbarrel is going to be the foregrip, and Gru elastic wrap as the handle, and the KGB pad as the stock. If I'm honest, this doesn't outgun the FFAR. I think this is probably the most comparable to the FFAR. I would still use the FFAR over this, but if you guys are getting a bit bored of what guns to use, this is terribly fun to use, and you can compete with it if you play well with it. Yeah, so I'd recommend using this and giving this a go if you feel like it. And then obviously moving on, I've got the Diamatti for the standard class, Stun, Semtex Trophy System, Flat Jacket, Tac Mask, and Ninja. Another gun which has had a bit of a change in Season 5 is the QBZ. it had a huge buff to its recoil. It shoots beams now. I think they reduced the recoil by 10%, something like that. So this gun just shoots way straighter. I mean, it still feels like a pea shooter to me. I don't know whether the bullet reg is somewhat amiss with this gun. But anyway, let's move on to the attachments. I've got the Microflex LED for this gun, muzzle brake 5.56, 16.5 Ranger, steady aim laser, field agent grip, 40 round drum magazine, airborne elastic wrap, and the Raider stock. Actually got a shark fin on that. I like that. I like that. As I say, this gun isn't necessarily an absolute beam like the Krig or the EM2, but I definitely, since this has been buffed, the recoil's had a huge buff with this. I definitely recommend giving it a go. So I think that's actually going to do it with regards to the main class setups I use. The ones that I've sort of changed anyway. I don't really use these bottom three. Obviously, the ones I mainly use are going to be the top two. Actually, the FFAR is becoming more used from me, and yeah, the other guns I sort of use if I'm getting a bit bored or I'm getting pissed off with the enemy team. Also using the EM2, in which case I'll just whack it out. You'll notice that I haven't got a new Tech 9 class setup simply because I just don't like it. It's not very forgiving. It's a single fire gun. Obviously in multiplayer you have the burst attachment and the fully automatic attachment, but on League Play those are banned, so you can't use them, so you have to simply use it as a single fire gun. And for me that just doesn't tick the boxes I need as an SMG. I want something I can be able to be a bit more free with, and I don't want to be focusing on just spamming my right trigger. So that's why I haven't done the class setup before. I just don't think it's that viable in League Play. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the classes. Try some of them out. If you're getting a bit bored, try the Groza and the QBZ. Let me know how you get on with those, and I hope you enjoy the video. Stick around for some subs for some more League Play content, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao.